Hello, Hateless Gaming here, bringing you a guide on doing common electricals in an 11 millionist Punisher. I'll get into the electricals after we go on the ship. We're going to do it this way. So, for skills to fly the Punisher well, we have very little skills. This is a character I made when you only got 750,000 skill points when you use an invite code. And as a day one pilot, I gave him 50 million ISK and kind of played with him. But this is what I came up with. We ended up training in armor. We got our repair systems to 4. This allows us to use an active repper. In engineering, we got advanced weapon upgrades to 3 and weapon upgrades to 4. I believe we had to trade a couple other of the engineering skills. I can't remember exactly which ones. It might show up in this list here. Where we go history. We had to train all these skills. But these are all... It doesn't show all of them, so that's not going to work. Anyways, we got our fitting skills so that we can fit the ship, and then we invested skills into DPS. So the big one was armor repair systems to 4, and then in engineering we needed advanced weapon upgrades 3, weapon upgrades to 4, power grid management to 4. These are the most important upgrades, and then I believe we may have trained CPU management. I can't remember if that starts at 3 or 4, and then everything else can kind of just wait. In rigging, we do have to make sure that we get energy weapon rigging up, otherwise we'll be lacking power grid, and it's really close on power grid, so you want to get energy rigging to 4, and then the rest of your skill points go into gunnery. You want to get small energy turret to 4, and then all the support skills as high as you can get them. That's pretty simple. Do as best you can, and then in spaceship command you also want to get a Mar frigate to 4. This helps with the resistance on your Punisher as well. The ship that we're using for electricals is a Punisher. The reason we picked the Punisher is because in electricals, there's a minus 50% EM resist, and the Punisher does primarily EM damage, and it has a really high DPS. Its shortcoming is that it has bad range and bad locking speed, and it's kind of slow, relatively speaking, for a frigate. So it kind of struggles with the locking range. Aside from that, it's super solid. It's got plenty of tank, it survives well. Its bonus is that it gets 10% reduction in small energy turret activation costs and 4% to all armor resists. So at level 4, you're going to get an additional 16% to all your armor resists, which helps out a lot. And then we're also going to have a prototype Energized adaptive nanomembrane to finish off the resistances. In the high slots, we have small focus modulated energy beam lasers. You can do regular small focus energy beam lasers, but the modulated ones bring a little bit more range, a little bit more DPS, making your quality of life a little bit better. And then you can also use standard ammo or regular ammo instead of Navy ammo if you really want to. I mean, you can get the ship down to 2.2 million ISK by doing this, but having the regular modulated energy beams, they're a little bit more expensive, and the faction lasers, you're going to do a lot more DPS and you're going to have better range. Your life is going to be better. In the mid slots, we have an Afterburner and a small cap battery, both named Tech 1. So we got small PB acid cap battery and a small YS8 compact. We go for the compact because it needs less stuff. The mono propellant uses less capacitor, but we want the better fitting. And then in the small lows, we have small accommodate Vestment Reconstructors. We have 2 extruded compact heatsinks. Alternatively, you can do 1 extruded compact heatsink and a T2 heatsink if you can get the fitting for it. Some people can, some people can't. It depends on if they train some of the engineering skills. I made sure I could get the T2 one on because that offsets getting another skill in gunnery to 5. Prototype Energized adaptive nanomembrane is the last low slot. And then for rigs, we really need the 2 gun slots. We don't need this one. For the 2 gun slots, we have a small energy Locus coordinator and a small burst aerator, and then this is completely optional. It does make locking targets a little bit friendlier. With small Ionic field projectors, you have a 32 kilometer locking ranges without any additional train skills. You get a 32 kilometer locking range, which helps a little bit. It's not a night and day difference, but it does help a little bit. And then in the cargo, we carry Imperial Navy multi-frequency standard and radio. You see we got the 3 ammo types. We use these 3 because standard's kind of right in the middle between radio and Imperial Navy multi-frequency. And then with that being said, how you get into a Team Abyss solo is you grab yourself 3 of these filaments. So you need 3 of the correct filament. We grabbed 3 of them. We're going to go somewhere in space. And then what you're going to do is you're going to form a fleet with yourself, and then, so I'm going to go find my character's Chadrick's in. We're going to go form a fleet with just myself, And then now when I right click on these in space, in my ship, when I right click on this, it'll say activate for fleet. I can activate it for my fleet and it'll send it won't send me into the frigate. It'll open up a filament, and then you activate the filament like you would an acceleration gate, throws you into the thing. You can go do it solo, or you can bring a couple friends. It's a lot easier if you bring friends. But you can do it solo with this 11 millionest fit, just these electricals. There's other fits that do other sites solo, but this one's the cheapest, easiest, and most forgiving. Also, it's stupid cheap. With that being said, I'm going to throw you guys at past me, who narrated some guides on how to do some of the more difficult rooms that you can get when you do solo electricals with a Punisher. So I'm going to throw you guys at him. Fly fun, and I'll see you guys right after that. Lashik spawn, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of spiral in. What we don't want to do is fly directly towards the Lashik, but we do want to continue moving towards it. Our goal is to close the gap without allowing it to hit us. As you'll see, it's going to miss most of the shots here. We won't be able to do anything to it until we're at range. We do have a transversal velocity that's fairly high. We're just going to kind of slowly go in and spiral in here. And then while we're at it, we may as well grab this cache on our way. I'm going to load up standard ammo, which for this ship is about that range. And then normally right now I'd kind of like turn in, but since we're going over, we're going to grab this loot on our way. The Lashik spawn's pretty easy. You go ahead and open up the cargo. Loot that, and then carry on, continue moving. Our ship is going to turn around because we told it to. Now we're going to kind of turn our ship not directly towards it, but turn our ship so it kind of more approaches it and not kind of flying parallel. As we get closer, this will happen a little bit faster. We can go ahead and lock him up now and start shooting him. He does repair the longer we wait. And then our goal is going to kind of be to get close without directly approaching him. So if we continue to, this is what I call spiraling in. We also spiral in like this for the Overmind and Carabitus spawns as well, which are the battleship spawns. We don't want them to be able to hit us. And then once we get within about 4 kilometers, we can orbit at 2,500 and turn off our prop mod. And then we're going to load up Multifrequency to finish him off. And we do want to make sure that he doesn't just fly away, so maybe it's better if we just leave that on, because it's about the same speed as us without the prop mod. Because without it, we go 426, we wouldn't have a very high transversal. And that's it, he doesn't really even do damage to us. So as long as we keep our transversal up, we'll be nice and safe, and it's nice and easy. So there we go, that spawn's done. For Carabitus, it's the same story as the Lashik. We're going to kind of spiral in. We do not want to directly approach him, and he'll fly away from us. This one seems to be about the same speed. If we do directly approach the Carabitus or the Overmind, they are very capable of killing us in one shot. So we want to be careful not to do that. So you never, ever, 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 ever directly approach a battleship in an Abyss room. Ever. Even if you're in a cruiser or whatever, you never directly approach them. They do a lot of extra damage. And you also never want to sit still. So sitting still is also a really bad option. So we always want to be moving, and we never want to be directly approaching them. We do, however, want to be going towards them, but never on a direct approach. You see my ship's not quite on a direct approach, and we're still closing this gap. And then once we get close, we can start orbiting. We're in lock range now, so we can go ahead and lock them up, start shooting with standard. And then once we get a little closer, we can set an actual orbit. We'll set 2,500 and switch out to multi-frequency. Go ahead and start firing here. All right, guys, so we got the grip spawn, which is a battle cruiser that is actually really scary to the ship. This is probably the scariest spawn you'll get. And he has broken tracking stats. So if you get close to him, he's going to kill you. We got to be very, very careful of this. And we're going to stay in standard ammo range. So we're going to approach him for a little bit. And then we're going to run away from him. So we're going to approach him to get in locking range. Hi, Aerators. Thank you so much for the raid. I'm kind of in the middle of describing a thing for YouTube. We're going to turn around and run away from this guy now that we're a little bit closer. We can lock him up. Again, if he gets too close, he's going to kill us. We're going to run one repper, and we're just going to start picking away at him. So our whole idea is that we need to kite. We want to keep running away from him and stay away. His fall off is really short, so we just can't let him get right next to us. He does have a broken tracking stat, so we got to kind of run away. Our optimal for our guns is going to be 17 kilometers. So as soon as we get about to like 18 or 19, in order to control the range a little bit without hitting the field on the outside, if you just orbit him, you're not quite fast enough, he'll push you out of the field. Once you get far enough, you're just going to turn your ship a little bit, and he'll catch up. So now he's 17. We're going to kind of turn our ship about 35 or so degrees, and then this will allow him to kind of cut in and catch up to us a little bit. So now you see he's catching up a little bit, and we're going to continue doing our damage. And then he's going to kind of fall back behind again, and he's going to get a little bit further. And then we're going to rinse and repeat this cycle until he's dead. But this is by far the scariest spawn for this ship. If you let him get close, he will ruin your day. And we're going to go ahead and turn this way again, just a little bit. Let him get a little bit closer to us. We do want to keep him in range so we can continue applying our DPS. We don't want to let him get too far away from us, because then we will lose our lock on him, because the ship does not have a very long locking range. It's like 30 kilometers. So I'm going to turn again, because he didn't catch us at all. So I'm going to make another turn. And there's our field, so we had to turn anyways because of the field. He's going to catch up to us a little bit. Got my day ruined by a burner today. Burners will kill you from time to time. That's okay. Did you look up my YouTube guide on how to do the burner? Or did you just kind of hop into it and hope for the best? So now that this guy's dead, you weren't even running it. Oh man, on this one here. All right, guys, we have this one. This is a spawn of pure. I just screwed up. All right, guys, this is a spawn of pure strike needles, strike needle Teslas. This is a scary spawn for this ship because it does a lot of incoming damage, and we don't have a whole lot of tank. So the general strategy is going to be to approach them and fly straight. And then we're going to load standard ammo because they do get outside of our multi-frequency range really easily. So we're going to begin approaching here. We'll lock these guys up. Everybody say hi to YouTube. Say hi to YouTube. We are going to kill the Demovic first. As the Demovic is, he spools up and deals additional damage over time. So we're just going to fly straight. And what's going to happen is they're kind of going to shoot past us. Our tank will break for a little bit. Actually, it won't. But once this guy spools up, we'll be in trouble. There's actually a hybrid spawn. This isn't a pure Tesla spawn. We got a Demovic in here. We're going to kill this guy first. And we're just going to continue flying straight. And just go right past the gate here. And as soon as this guy dies, we're going to kill a couple of the frigates. And then we'll be in a good spot. He's going to slowly melt. And then you see how these guys are kind of getting outside like 12 kilometers. That's why we're using standard, because they get a little bit out of our range. And then we're going to kill a couple of these guys, as they are a concern as well. I know we did this really cleanly. We did it. That was a perfect clear. And that's it. We're now safe. We've killed a few of the spawns. We're in a good spot. We're going to go ahead and start approaching the cache. I could probably grab this guy while I'm here, since it's right there. Approach that. Grab this guy here. Kill another Tesla. I didn't do that on promise. I didn't do that on purpose, I promise. I didn't do that on promise, I purpose. I'm going to go ahead and open this cargo here. loot up our materials, and then we're going to go ahead and go towards the bioadaptive cache. We'll clean up the last 2 spawns. Okay, guys, I guess you finished watching that, and if you're still here, I want to say thank you for coming. Don't forget to leave a comment in the videos if you like or dislike how I did this. Please let me know, and let me know how I can improve my videos. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, likes and subscribes are awesome. And I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure you fly fun and enjoy your time playing EVE Online.